Welcome back to the Political Vigilante. I'm Graham Elwood. Today I want to read some more of your guys' comments, which I very much appreciate. I try to make this as interactive as possible, Buzzword, interactive, multi-platform. So here's something from Mike Slater. I think the Women's March will be, this is in reference to when I talked about the Women's March. I think the Women's March will be lasting in the number of participants that will continue to be more politically active. Many people my wife and I knew in passing turned out to be going. Now we're organizing letter writing campaigns with other people she went on the bus with. Thanks for posting these. Mike, right on. That's the question after the Women's March. What is going to happen? And it's stuff like this. I saw another friend of mine, a guy, Derek Iverson, that I went to college with, just got elected to his local school board here in Southern California. I was like, that's what it's going to take. It's the little things, the letter writing campaign. Good for you, Mike, and your wife and your community. That's right on. That's awesome. Then Myrie Williams wrote international. This is about the defunding the gag rule for any international organizations that get federal funding that do abortions. Can't get the money. But, okay. International, and why is always the poor people they want to have abortions? Abortion is murder. Try helping the poor with what they need so they can take care of their children, and abortion isn't the answer. If you can spend $6 million for abortions, you can spend the same on helping them with the thing they need, like food, water, care for children if needed. But all right, blah, blah, blah. You obviously didn't read the article or listen to what I said. One of the biggest parts of the funding that was going to these international organizations and Planned Parenthood is all of the other medical care that these women can receive. All of it. Preventative medicine, contraception, all kinds of things. And abortion, none of the federal money is allowed to go towards abortion. So you're defunding all of it. You're defunding healthcare and all the things you want people to have. You just heard abortion and overreacted, didn't you, Mary? Heather Joy writes, well, this is in reference to the video about Chris Hedges. Hedges is probably my favorite political dissident. Also check out Debbie Luizgian under the Sane Progressive Facebook and YouTube channel. I'm going to check out Sane Progressive. And Abby Martin at The Empire Files. Heather, thank you so much. I didn't know anything about these women, Debbie and Abby, and now you've turned me on to them, which is great. That's one of the upsides of this process for me personally is I didn't know about Chris Hedges, now I do. I didn't know about Glenn Greenwald, now I do. And first I saw my friend Jimmy Dore do his show, The Jimmy Dore Show. I was on it, and that's another thing that inspired me. I saw what he was doing. I've watched that show, Secular Talk, on YouTube, and it's very interesting. I don't know that I agree with everybody all the time, but that's not what they're not batshit nuts. There's a difference between someone that is just a liar versus someone that has an opinion that I don't necessarily agree with. I'm sure you guys don't agree with everything I say here, but hopefully you don't think I'm batshit nuts. Bat, yes. Nuts, no. So thank you for that, Heather. Robert Fernandez writes, keep up the great work, Graham. Have you thought about having guests on to discuss some of these issues or possibly turning this into a podcast? Podcast? Absolutely not. No, I do a lot of podcasts, Comedy Film Nerds, and I'm a guest on a lot of them. I think, well, first let me address the first question. Yes, I've absolutely thought about having guests on this show, and I will. A friend of mine whose article I read, JB Updike, who also runs Open Primaries, I think I might have him on here. Maybe I'll have Jimmy Dore on as well, and some other friends of mine like Eddie Pepitone and people like comedians who are also kind of politically aware and active. But yeah, that's a great idea, Robert. The podcast thing is a whole nother animal, just from a technical standpoint, because right now I'm talking into my iPhone on a little tripod on a turned over trash can on a chair. Getting the audio files and posting them and everything, that's a whole nother beast. But it's not undoable. It's just a little bit down the road. When this channel actually starts making money, then I can have a little more infrastructure. Right now, it's just I post this on my phone, and then I record this on my phone, and then my girlfriend posts it on YouTube. She's better with the computers than I am. Yeah, I'm just a face. I'm just the front man for this organization. She's like Alfred. You know how he was sort of the brains of the Batcave? Yeah. She's also right behind my phone, so she's giggling right now. But I'm not going to break eye contact with the camera because I'm a professional. So thank you so much for that, Robert. Yes, we will have guests on for sure. Podcast, we'll see. Julian Williams wrote, this is again in response, this is into the Planned Parenthood article that I talked about. Pap smears, which Planned Parenthood provides, are the best preventative measure in medical history outside of vaccines. Man, I didn't know that. Medicine and medical support services should be about outcomes and not dollars. Oh, what kind of hippie nonsense is that? Yeah. It's sad, Julian, that you even have to make that statement. You're 100% correct, but that only America, like I talk to friends of mine that are Canadian or Australian, and they're just like, wait, what? You have to pay for healthcare? What? Oh my God. You're so right. You also say dollars only matter in what one has to demonstrate that they're not an irresponsible spender, a spender on lives. Planned Parenthood is one of the most useful services for women in the country. It was and should be ever present with services supported by our government. Breast exams, pap smears, etc. are valuable for our entire population because they help at least 50% of our population. Oh, God. Yes, we should be helping at least 50% of our population. Graham, continue the good work on speaking the truth. I'll do it. I'll do as much as I can. Planned Parenthood is a private/public partnership, which also helps working and working class women that every American should be proud of. Yeah, that's such a great point. You know, Trump and the right always talk about helping the working class and the working people. But how about the working woman? How about the working class woman that needs good health care? Excuse me. Oh, man. Julian, thank you so much for this, and thank you for giving me a little more information about Planned Parenthood that I didn't know. A couple more here, and then we'll wrap it up. Winterland 6977 was in reference to that Todd Starnes article about the colleges are making boys grow boobs or whatever that thing. He writes, Todd Starnes is overcompensating due to his fears/doubts about his own manhood, which is sad. Good point. This is the real problem with boys/men in this country and leads to this sort of over-the-top toxic masculinity. Men who are confident in themselves don't have to go around with their chest puffed out 24/7. Man, good point, dude. It's like those guys that are... It's funny. I'll give you a great story. A buddy of mine that I went to college with, that I played lacrosse with, he had 3 friends. He was from New York, and he had 3 friends die in 9/11, and he was in the recruiter's office to join the Army in his 30s on September 12th. Joined the Army, was an airborne ranger, you know, was in Afghanistan and Iraq, and he told me a lot of intense stories, you know, and he told me something interesting about, I was like, what is it like when you actually got in and were in combat? He said, you know, it's funny, some of the alpha male guys, the tough guys in boot camp that were like, bleh, they got scared, and there was this one real quiet dude in his unit who was like so focused during combat. What does that tell you? Pretty interesting. You also wrote, I'm reading Death of the Liberal Class right now, such a brave and brilliant mind Hedges has. Yeah, Eddie Pepitone turned me on to Chris Hedges, and that's a book, The Death of the Liberal Class, that I need to read. Thank you guys so much for your comment. I'll try to go through these, you know, once a week or so, whenever I get enough to talk about. So I really appreciate your comments and giving me new information myself. It's awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you for liking the show and subscribing and sharing with your friends and sharing your information with me and getting involved. It's awesome you guys are all getting involved. Thank you so much.